Hey guys, today we're flying China Airlines Business Class, and the lounge food might just steal the show. This overnight service from Taipei to Melbourne departs just before midnight, with a flight time of 9 hours on the modern Airbus A350-900. Arriving at Taoyuan Airport with dedicated business check-in counters, we were soon through immigration and headed to the lounges on the 4th floor. Our first stop was the flagship China Airlines lounge. While there aren't any tarmac views and lounges here overlook the check-in hall, the space was comfortable with plenty of seating and, more important, some excellent dining options to check out. The lounge's standout feature is the made-to-order menu, available from the touchscreen kiosk in multiple languages. It's a slick, easy-to-use system. Just scroll through the options and add your choice to the cart and you'll get a printed ticket. I had heard about the legendary braised beef noodle soup at the lounge, so that was first on my list. Within minutes, the dish was ready to pick up, but before heading back to your seat, make a stop at the condiment station. The pickled veggies and chili are what give the noodles a proper kick. Back at the table, the first bite does not disappoint. The noodles were thick, chewy, perfectly fresh wheat noodles. But the real hero was the beef itself. Huge chunks of slow braised short rib, fall apart tender, with just the right amount of fat to carry the flavour. It honestly felt like a restaurant quality dish. For a lounge, it doesn't get much better. But that was just the beginning. The buffet offered a wide range of hot dishes from shumai, baozi, soups, braised pork, and plenty of other vegetable sides. There was honestly just too much to try here, but we made the decision to get a few sample plates and go from there. We knew it was going to be pretty hard to top those beef noodles though. Our first plate, I couldn't go past that braised pork, creamy chicken, a dumpling, and some veggies. You know, for health and all that. To follow that up, we tried the congee soup with fungus, a sweet option that was interesting and surprised me. Something you probably wouldn't find unless you were Taiwanese. Making the most of the lounge, I grabbed yet another beer and tried the chicken curry with naan bread. The chicken had a nice curry flavour, although the naan was a bit dry. The local Taiwanese dishes seemed to be the better of the options at the buffet. Next, I tried a fried vegetable frittata. At least that's what I thought it was. It tasted similar to a Korean-style pancake. I still couldn't work out what was inside though. And to round out the plate, another fried option, this bao, which had a nice sweet filling. At this point though, I was just about at a bursting point, but it was definitely worth trying. For anyone wanting something a bit lighter, there was also a salad bar with a decent spread, and the drink selection was surprisingly varied, with soy milk, milk tea, Yakult, sodas and juices. The alcohol selection was a bit limited. And to finish, a local touch, Taiwanese shaved ice. But instead of the ingredients just being placed on the top, they're all mixed in together, similar to a sorbet. I went with passion fruit flavour. Pretty frozen, but sweet and delicious. Honestly, this is a pretty decent business class lounge, and the beef noodles alone make it worth the visit.
Another 5 minutes.
With primary boarding, we were quickly on the aircraft, the Airbus A350-900 in a 121 herringbone layout. We chose the middle pair, both with direct aisle access. The seats angle slightly away from the aisle, so even without doors, they feel private. The seat itself is spacious and plush, with elegant colours, wood accents, and even a small lamp for a homely touch. For entertainment, an 18-inch touchscreen. At your feet is a cubby that doubles as a footrest in lie-flat mode. Additional storage can be underneath. Speaking as which, storage is a bit on the limited side with just 2 compartments in the armrest, but it's enough to house the slippers, bottled water and a few small personal items. Unfortunately, there are no pyjamas available. It also houses the remote, which is also touchscreen. Within the other armrest was a leather Machino Amenity kit. Easily one of the more generous kits we've seen, with a hairbrush, earplugs, a plush sleeping mask, a luggage tag, toothbrush, and even cosmetics, including hair oil, hand cream, and a moisturizer. In the opposite adjustable armrest, they also housed the noise-cancelling headphones. These were the over-ear type and were very comfortable for the long flight. Comfy and elegant looking. At this point, things were looking good, but how would the dining compare to that incredible lounge? The dinner service that followed offered a multi-course set with appetizers, mains, cheese and fruit platters and dessert. The menu offered two main options, a Taiwanese option featuring lobster and mapo tofu or a Western option with grilled filet mignon. Breakfast followed a similar split. The appetizer course began with a soft-boiled egg topped with mullet roe and sweet shrimp, alongside a wild mushroom salad, for which they provided their own little olive oil vinaigrette. The presentation itself was just okay. We paired it all off with a signature cocktail. The mullet roe is definitely an acquired taste in Taiwan, and it was just a bit too strong for me. Although, the wild mushroom salad was fresh and nicely balanced with that nice vinaigrette. We had actually ended up pre-ordering our mains, and having previously enjoyed the grilled filet mignon, we decided to try the Taiwanese pork cutlet, served with the omelette and sautéed cabbage and Taiwanese sausage. Unfortunately, this one didn't quite live up to expectations. The flavour was fine, but overall the dish felt flat, and left me wishing I'd stuck with the filet mignon instead. Our second main was a sweet and sour prawn dish with rice and bok choy. On paper it sounded impressive, but the presentation and flavour were a little underwhelming. China Airlines has recently teamed up with Michelin star restaurant Nippon in Taipei, so we'll have to come back and see how their updated menus compare. After dinner, it was time to check out some of the seat functions, all via a dedicated touchscreen, which controlled the lights as well. The seat transformed into a fully flat bed with pillow and blanket. The angled layout helped with privacy and there was plenty of space to stretch out. Overall, a very comfortable setup, and I managed to get a few solid hours of sleep. A few hours before landing, we were woken for breakfast. I went with the traditional Taiwanese congee with assorted sides. The portion was generous with lots of toppings to mix in. The standout being the sweet potato though, which paired beautifully with the savoury base. So, how does China Airlines Business Class stack up overall? What we liked, the lounge dining in Taipei, especially those beef noodles. The comfortable herringbone seats with direct aisle access and a surprisingly generous amenity kit. What we didn't like, the in-flight food was inconsistent and underwhelming compared to the lounge, and minimal storage around the seat for personal items. And Wi-Fi wasn't included. We rated the lounge 4.5 stars, with the flight itself at 3.5, giving an overall experience of 4 stars. Let us know in the comments if you've ever flown China Airlines, and don't forget to like and subscribe to follow along, and we'll see you again in the next one.